a G. You will be hearing from 3 attorneys today. You will be hearing from Romanucci and Blandon founding partner Antonio Romanucci, A-N-T-O-N-I-O. Romanucci is R-O-M-A-N-U-C-C-I. You will then hear from our managing partner, Gina, G-I-N-A, DeBoni, D-E-B-O-N-I. The final attorney will be Senior Attorney Patrick, standard spelling, Huber, H-U-B like boy, E-R. Also present up here for photos and identifications will be 2 paralegals. One, her name is Dana, D-A-N-A, Condos, K-O-N-D-O-S. The other is paralegal Paula, P-A-U-L-A, B-O-R-T-Z. Paul is here in the black and white blazer, so Dana by default will be the other.
You can put that back.
Okay, thanks.
And move it back to where you had it.
Terrific, and we will bring everybody up in a minute. They'll come in that door to your left so you could get the entrance shot.
Right. Yeah, you're good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
You know, we like it in a wide shot if it fits for you guys. welcome. Why don't I have a couple of you fill in on this side a little bit? Okay, everybody, we're going to get started. My name is Jennifer McGuffin. I'm the Chief Communications Officer at Romanucci and Blandon. And the team behind me here today is going to walk through yesterday's filing of a civil complaint against the Flavor Frenzy Ice Cream Shop in Addison, Illinois, and its owner, Stephen Weisberg. I'd like to introduce to you the people standing here. Founding partner Antonio Romanucci, managing and senior partner Gina DeBoni, senior attorney Patrick Huber. I should let you know that senior attorney Maura White contributed to the case, was unable to be here today. Also like to acknowledge our senior paralegal Dana Condos and paralegal Paula Bortz for their contributions, as well as Mario Cesario, correct? Can I spell your last name for you?
Casharo.
Casharo. Thank you. Want to spell that?
Casciaro.
Beautiful. Thank you. I will turn it over to Antonio Romanucci.
Thank you, Jen. And good afternoon. I lost track of time, so thank you, everybody. So what happened inside this Flavor Frenzy ice cream shop probably can't be described in any better terms than the name of the shop itself. What a frenzy. What happened to our female teenage employees who are now our clients inside that ice cream shop can only be considered to be unconscionable and beyond disgusting. Our 11 teenager clients were deceived by this owner, and they walked into, basically, it's an ice cream shop of horror. Just like the old play, this was the shop of horror. They were exploited, they were shamed, they trusted Stephen Weisberg, and instead what happened, they got disrespected, and he turned this into his own personal peep show, just like the movie Psycho. And the sprinkles on top of this abuse are that these girls, that he was texting them outside of work, telling them to take an online purity test, asking them about the results, and touching them in unwanted ways on their hair, backs, and buttocks, in addition to offering them alcohol and gummies laced with THC. This disturbing behavior went on for at least 5 years, from 2021 to 2025. The female employees were between the ages of 14 and 17 years at that time. So you can see that he was exploiting girls, teenagers, who were not of the age of consent. So Romanucci and Blandon has filed a civil lawsuit against this Addison, Illinois ice cream shop and its owner for the secret videotaping of the 11 teenage employees in the bathroom that existed within this shop while they were working. You'll hear more in a moment about the lawsuit from the legal team. So the ice cream shop, called Flavor Frenzy, is located at 48 West Lake Street in Addison. This turned out to be an unsafe and unlawful place of business, even though everybody was welcome and invited to come in. And being said so, it was particular for these young girls. So this defendant, Stephen Weisberg, was the owner and operator of Flavor Frenzy. He used the business as his own personal vehicle to recruit, exploit, and endanger minor female employees. He instructed all female employees that their work uniform consisted of a shirt and tight black pants, and required them to model Flavor Frenzy t-shirts or other apparel for what he said were for website photographers. Now, what our clients did not know is that Weisberg installed a video camera in the bathroom. He replaced an electrical outlet with a secret camera. One that had no flashing light on it, one that gave no warning that anybody inside this bathroom was having their privacy violated. He required our clients to repeatedly change clothing in that bathroom purposely for business marketing means, he would give them bras and Flavor Frenzy branded garments so that he could record them while they were undressing. He controlled the teenage girls' uniforms, and because this was their job, they did what their boss told them. He instructed them that the bras should not be visible outside their shirts unless the bra matched the top being worn. When employees wore tank tops, Weisberg provided them with matching bras and directed that the straps be shown. In other cases, Weisberg insisted that employees either not wear a bra or wear a strapless bra provided by him. He then directed them to change shirts in the restroom under these conditions while he was secretly videotaping them. So that wasn't enough. Weisberg engaged in additional exploitive conduct. He intentionally cultivated personal relationships with some of the minor female employees by asking them questions about their personal lives, calling and texting them outside of work, discussing personal matters during work shifts. He exploited his position of authority over minor female employees by admonishing a minor employee for wearing pants that were not sufficiently tight-fitting, claiming the outfitted violated his dress code. He offered alcohol and gummies to underage employees while working on behalf of the shop at street festivals. He instructed minor female employees to take an online purity test, later questioning them about the results. He inquired into those test results. His inquiries were invasive, inappropriate, and they were even sexual in nature. He expressed the desire to hire girls with large breasts to work on a lemonade shake-up promotion. And then also on multiple occasions, Flavor Frenzy withheld wages owed to employees and or paid them at rates below the minimum wage required under Illinois and federal law. Once he got them into his shop of horrors, he did whatever he could to control them, not only as to what they were wearing, but even what he would pay them. He took advantage of vulnerable, young, teenage, underage girls. We will do everything we can to get accountability from this individual who was a predator to these girls. We will not stop even here. We will pursue legislation in Illinois. We will do whatever we can to protect not only these girls, but the entire community from having their privacy invaded and from having this happen again. And we will be pursuing that legislation. I will now turn it over to our managing attorney, Gina DeBoni, who will talk to you a little bit more about the lawsuit. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. The manipulation of teenage girls by this employer and business owner is absolutely disgusting. That cannot be overstated enough. He abused his position of authority and repeatedly convinced high school girls that they needed to change their clothes, their bras, and other clothing as a part of marketing while in a bathroom and unbeknownst to them. Our clients are brave. They're teenage girls who are now navigating uncharted waters. There's nothing more American than having your first job in an ice cream shop in your own hometown. Now they and their families are navigating a surreal and inconceivable experience and find themselves on a path towards pursuing justice and accountability against Flavor Frenzy and the shop owner for the deeply traumatic and harmful distress that they incurred. These types of cases, they're not new to Romanucci and Blandon, and they're particularly important to our mission. We go after predators and have a history of representing clients who have been exploited or abused by high school coaches, by clergy, by in the Boy Scout cases, and also by medical providers who abuse their patients. Another example of Romanucci and Blandon's efforts in this space is combating human trafficking. One case in particular is the case of Desiree Robinson. We represent her mother, Yvonne Ambrose. Desiree was killed on Christmas Eve, December 2016 in Chicago after she was trafficked online on Backpage.com. Yvonne testified before the U.S. Senate Commerce Committee. This is a case that garnered national attention, and ultimately the SESTA and FOSTA legislation was signed into law, and Yvonne was at the White House for the signing of that law. And in the last year and a half, we've represented multiple families relating to their minor children in an elementary school. We have filed suit against District 25 in Arlington Heights. In that case, the nurse had swapped out medication, causing irreparable harm to kids ages 2nd grade to 5th grade when their medication was switched. We were so happy that a recent criminal conviction happened in that case. So this deeply troubling behavior that occurred at Flavor Frenzy and by the shop owner is not new to our team, and we're well positioned to represent these young clients for the harm done to them by their employer. I'd like to talk for a moment about the impact of these horrific actions on the teenage girls that we represent. No two people have the same types of reaction to abuse. Many people's reactions even change over time. They may experience freezing, disbelief, shame, anger. Sometimes they blame themselves. In this particular case, we do not believe that any of our young clients were aware of the secret recording, but they definitely had other uncomfortable experiences with Stephen Weisberg and his operation of the business. Abusers and exploiters pick their victims carefully. This business owner hired young girls, many of whom this was their first job, and he was able to manipulate them and preyed upon their naiveness and their vulnerability. For many of our clients, this man befriended them. He tried to relate to them. He acted like a father figure to them. They trusted him. He exploited them. That's the worst part. Any child should be able to trust an authority figure, an adult. They should be able to trust their boss. He abused that trust and counted on his position of power to prevent him from ever being held accountable for his actions. We're going to do everything in our power to change that. We have filed on behalf of each of these clients as Jane Does, given their identities, and protection of them as minors. They're sorting through this experience, processing the exploitation in their efforts to seek accountability. This took place in a relatively small suburban town, Addison, Illinois, and we ask that everyone respect the privacy of these minors and of their families. It's important to understand that abuse can happen at any time, at anywhere, to anyone. Separately, relating to the criminal proceedings, in September 2025, a DuPage grand jury returned a superseding indictment charging Weisberg of 66 counts of child pornography and 32 counts of unauthorized video recording, confirming the systematic nature of his exploitation at Flavor Frenzy. That's 98 criminal counts. That's astounding. You can see his mugshot here. Weisberg's pretrial release was denied according to the DuPage County State's Attorney's Office. We're watching the criminal case closely. As you may know, a criminal proceeding hearing happened this morning. My colleague Patrick Huber was there in attendance. We applaud the Addison Police Department and the DuPage County State's Attorney's Office for their hard work on this case. Senior Attorney Patrick Huber will now walk through the details of the complaint.
Thank you, Gina. The civil complaint was filed yesterday, October 22nd, 2025, in the Circuit Court of DuPage County. The 11 female plaintiffs are all proceeding under Jane Doe pseudonyms to protect their identities. The defendants include Flavor Frenzy LLC, which is the business entity responsible for operating the ice cream shop, and Stephen Weisberg individually. The plaintiffs are represented by Tony Romanucci, Gina DeBoni, Maura White, and myself from the law firm of Romanucci and Blandon. Additionally, civil rights attorneys Ben Crump and Brooke Cluse from Ben Crump Law jointly represent one of the plaintiffs. I'm going to walk through all 6 counts of the civil complaint. Count 1 alleges intrusion upon seclusion, that defendants unlawfully invaded the plaintiff's privacy through offensive conduct violating their personal dignity. Count 2, intentional infliction of emotional distress, alleging that defendants' extreme and outrageous actions caused severe emotional harm to the plaintiffs. Count 3, Illinois Gender Violence Act, claiming that defendants committed acts of gender-based violence, intimidation, and coercion against the plaintiffs. Count 4, battery, alleging that the defendants engaged in unwanted and harmful physical contact with the plaintiffs. Count 5, negligence against Flavor Frenzy LLC, alleging that the business failed to exercise reasonable care in hiring, supervising, and protecting its young employees, thereby enabling the misconduct and resulting in foreseeable harm. Finally, count 6, sexual harassment, hostile work environment, alleging that defendants created and perpetrated a sexually hostile and abusive work environment in violation of the Illinois Human Rights Act. The complaint seeks a jury trial. Put simply, what these girls expected was a first job. Some of our clients are as young as 14 years old. When they went to this job, they expected a safe workplace. When their families signed off on them going to work, they expected a safe workplace. What they instead got was a place of fear and exploitation. A 50-year-old man and the business he ran failed these young women in every possible way. He used his position and his store to manipulate and exploit these young teenage girls. We will fight relentlessly to hold this business and the individual accountable and get the justice our clients all deserve. I'll now turn it over.
So why don't you, I want to add that our co-counsel Mario Casario, who's also here, he represents several of the plaintiffs with our firm also.
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks, we'll open it up for questions.
So the complaints, pardon me, the alleged incidents happened between 2021 and 2025.
Yes.
When did it first get reported, though? When was somebody first notified?
It was early this year. It was earlier this year that it started coming out. So we're still in the discovery phase of who exactly uncovered the camera. The police, the Addison Police Department is still doing their investigation, so we don't have access to what they have. But somebody uncovered the camera. Somebody uncovered it, not because there was a light flashing on it, but because somebody actually suspected and saw that what we understand is that there was, I always get this wrong, the little fuse box that's in the middle of electrical outlets where you can push it?
Yeah, recharge it, yeah.
Reset it. It was missing. That part was missing, and there was like a little hole there instead.
Just to imagine with these allegations, it seems like that people would have suspected for a long time. It just seems so suspicious to ask someone to change their clothes. Say you can only change your clothes here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the unfortunate part is that he only asked a specific community to do it, and that's young, impressionable girls. This guy was their friend. He endeared himself to them. He made himself, I have heard that this guy made himself into a father figure with a lot of these girls. They trusted him. And so when he said, no, go back in the bathroom and put this on instead, they didn't know that they were being tricked because the door locked, right? They locked the door. They didn't know that they were being tricked into undressing and then being video recorded.
Is the ice cream store still in this? Is it still open?
No, it's closed.
And how, you have any idea how long it had been? It's been around a long time, before 2021?
Was it 2019? Yeah,
Okay, so it only been in business a few years, and then this,
Right.
allegedly these.
correct. Correct.
Is it a franchise, or is it this, was he the local, the only owner?
Does he have another location?
Just a single location.
So
Okay.
he was the sole owner, and this was his,
We don't know if he was the sole owner. He certainly was the face of it. There may be some other ownership depth to it, and we need to find that out. But he was certainly branded himself as the owner, the operator of the store.
can you talk about the legislation you mentioned? What legislation, what would that be?
Yeah.
To prevent something like this?
So we are working on some language. Let me just divert for a second. I'm a little bit of a tech geek, okay? And one of my family members last Christmas bought me a pair of those new Ray-Ban Meta glasses, and they have camera. You know, there's a camera on the glasses, and you can take a picture or video while you're wearing glasses. But here's the difference.
Unbeknownst to,
Ah,
yeah,
no.
sorry.
There's a light that flashes. A light comes on. If you're taking a picture or you're taking a video, when you push the button, the light goes on to warn people that something is happening. And indeed, I've done that, and people said, oh, those are the Meta glasses. So now let me get to the legislation. There is no place in our society for hidden cameras to spy on anybody without somebody knowing that they are being either audio, video, or photographically recorded, which was what's happening here. So our legislation would mandate that any electronic recording device, when it's in operation, warn you either by a tone or by some sort of light to let you know that it's happening. You can't go, we don't want Amazon or any of these spy shops that operate to sell anything in this state unless it has either an audio or visual warning while it's in operation and recording.
I was gonna say, there's more than one part to this. You can easily get this stuff. I mean, you can set up a cell phone, it doesn't, you can't tell you're being recorded.
However, Illinois is a two-party state when it comes to recording. If you're out in the public, if you're out on the public street and you're taking pictures and you happen to walk by, so be it. But when you're in the privacy of a bathroom, it's a different story. That is a different story. And so, of course, there has to be specific language, the way that it's written. But obviously, what we're talking about is your right to privacy, where the expectation rests.
And Tony, I'll also add, one of the things you had talked about was having health departments scan for electronic devices. People have the ability to do that. Yes, certainly.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Take that from
another aspect of it is, for example, when the Chicago City Department of Health Inspectors looks at a restaurant, or DuPage County Health Inspectors are inside, that they have the equipment to scan for electronic recording devices where the expectation of privacy would exist.
Can you talk about damages being sought, how much money people are?
Sure. So we have sought the jurisdictional limits, with the minimal limits. We will seek whatever is appropriate in terms of accountability. We don't know yet about the liquidity of the ice cream shop, the insurance that's available. We don't know, but I can tell you it's going to be maximum.
I imagine for something like this, there might be more alleged victims who aren't part of this now might then come forward. And they're seeing the bravery, seeing what's happening now. Is that something that does that often happen?
That will certainly happen, because I have personally met, as my team has, we've met with all of these young teenagers. And I can tell you that they have gone through phases of embarrassment. They don't want to talk about it. How could this have happened? And so with any other victim that's been sexually exploited, and this is a sexual exploitation, it may take time for people to come forward. And if there are other people out there, and if they have the will to do this, they should come forward. If they don't, and they want to keep it private, then that's respected also. but seeing what these girls have gone through would truly break your heart to see how their emotions flood through once they realize how they were taken advantage of in such a manner, and why didn't I know? They asked themselves, why didn't I know? Because he hid it.
Last question, I promise.
That's okay, it's a good dialogue.
No, were there, so really what the picture being painted here is this older man, middle-aged man hiring these young
Yeah.
girls. Were there other people who worked there? Were there boys? Were there people, older people as well who were in the shop, when I
Yeah.
say older, older than teenage girls?
It's a very good question. What we have understood, and obviously we'll have it confirmed, is that he did not hire boys. There was one boy that we do know of that was working there during a specific period of time. But other than that, he wasn't hiring males. He only wanted girls.
Thank you, everybody. Any more questions?
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.
How old is Weisberg?
He's around 50 years old.
Yeah, I thought it said 58. I thought it read 58. No?
Yeah,
Whatever
Is it
we
his
wrote.
50s? I'm
he's
sorry.
in his 50s.
I think he's older than 50 because I've heard about, I think he's older than 50. I think 58 is right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.